I just want to make a very exciting announcement that I did not have to climb out my window to get to the podcast today.
I think you should have done that, though.
Should I make that the norm?
Yeah. I think whenever there's an opportunity to take something to the extreme, you must.
I must do so.
You must. So what's a better story? I almost had to climb out my window to get to the Streamer Awards, or I had to climb out my window to get to the Streamer. I mean, it's a modern day Cinderella story.
We had a whole mess of a day.
We had combined elements of a fairy tale.
Clusterfuckery,
yeah,
if you will. Okay, so we went to an awards show.
We went to an awards show, the first of many.
But Streamer Awards, I woke up on Saturday and I was getting ready to leave. And I went to turn my door handle, as one does when they leave their house.
You need to leave.
That's what
through a door
usually happens.
Yeah.
And the door handle was turning, but you know the little dongle that goes into the door?
Yeah.
That's what I've called it. That's what I've named it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It like wasn't retracting. And
they said, not today, bitch.
They said, not today. Nope. Stay inside. So I texted my landlord and I said, hey man, my door won't open. Hey dude.
So I need to use the door today.
It's like when you're playing a video game and like your level isn't high enough to like enter an area.
Yes.
That was me trying to leave my house.
You're like, how do I power up?
I was not you love video games, clearly.
That's a thing.
I have to power up.
Yeah, that's just called doing some cocaine.
Yeah.
In the real world.
True.
Okay.
So he just replies, what the fuck? Because I have had the most bizarre, from my toilet exploding. There was a point in time where every time I turned the fan on in my bathroom, the monitors in my computer on the other side of the house would turn off.
Oh, your place is haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the door wasn't opening. So I was like, hey man, I gotta leave my house. And the door isn't working. So he's like, what the fuck? So he comes over and we're like standing in opposite sides of the door. Like I can see the door handle turning. And I'm like, hey, how's it going over there? And he's like, I can't. So he's trying to like figure out how to fix it. Meanwhile, I have to go.
Yeah.
I have to.
You were texting me.
I was like, I can't leave. Help. I'm wearing a dress, like a full length dress, heels. I said, hey, I'm gonna jump out the window. So he brought a ladder over to the window. I am Rapunzel. And he brought a ladder over, and I just hurtled in my dress with Oki, by the way, because I had to take her to a sitter.
She's like, this is exciting, Mom.
she's like, okay.
Yeah. Wait, so you did climb out through the window?
Yep. If you walk over there, the ladder's still there.
Oh, I was thinking that you had ended up getting through the door.
Well, the door's fixed now. He fixed it while I was gone.
The door's fixed now, but you did have to climb through the window.
Yes.
Okay. Let down your hair.
Yep.
What do you think the worst place to get stuck in is?
Probably the dryer.
Help, stepbrother. I'm stuck in the dryer.
Oh, I have to get to the Streamer Awards and I'm stuck in the dryer. Sorry. Second.
No. I was at like a porta potty at a music festival.
That's so specific. Is that like a fear?
Yeah, because those places are hell on earth. Do you know that people have sex in porta potties and like give blowjobs and stuff?
No.
Yeah.
That's...
You couldn't pay me.
At that point, just do it in public. Like I would...
That's how I feel.
If you said, hey man, I have to give a lazy hand job to Steve over here and the porta potty is grossing me out, do you mind? I'd be like,
you know what? This is preferable.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just won't look. Go ahead. Do you know that scene in the Winnie the Pooh book and movie when Pooh gets stuck in the hole and then they paint his butt?
Yes, because he's going for the honey.
Like, can you imagine getting stuck somewhere and then neighbors draw a face on your ass?
That was diabolical.
It was diabolical. It was so mean. Like, that was the craziest form of bullying. Like, the man got stuck. He's a bear.
Poor Pooh. Justice for Pooh.
And he doesn't even wear pants half the time. So everybody knows it's his ass because he's walking around town with his ass
He
out.
really does walk around mooning everybody.
Yeah, so that's mine.
Okay, that's yours. Would you rather be buried alive or like
trapped at the top of a treehouse at the as high up as you could go in the Amazon.
Or like stuck on top of the Eiffel Tower.
You're right. That's safer.
I'm trying to think of what the equivalent to
buried alive. Well, it would be up high. Sky burial.
What's a sky burial?
It's where they take you up high when you die and they let the birds pick you apart.
Oh.
That's how I want to go.
That's how you want to... Wait, like that's how you want to die? Or when
no, you're
died?
already dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
no,
crazy.
It releases you back into the earth. Because it's kind of weird that when people die, we burn them and we like take all of their nutrients when they could be... That was a weird word to use.
When we could be eating these bodies? No, is that what you're saying? That I could be grinding you up
all
in my blender
ways...
for green juice in the morning?
Yeah, that's what I want. When I die.
You want me to mix you in with some kale and some broccoli.
Mm-hmm. Turn me into a Jamba Juice smoothie.
Okay.
No, it's when we die as humans, we take our bodies and we put them into the most unusable states.
Oh, sure.
For nature.
Also,
like,
aren't we like out of burial grounds?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Aren't we out of earth to bury people?
We're gonna have to find unique places like a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, there's dead bodies underneath that. You know that.
Like we could just start sticking them anywhere.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of Toys R Us's that are closed now. We could just start
some Chuck E. Cheese. Just throw them like in the ball pit.
Yeah.
I would like a Viking funeral.
What is that?
Where you put me in a boat and push me out to sea, and you take an arrow and put fire on it and then shoot it, and hopefully you make it. Can
I just say something? Every time they put that in a movie, they hit it on the first try, but can you imagine?
Just like, God damn it.
Like
right,
there's a new guy. It's like they have a new guy and he's just not that good of a shot.
You're like, Gary, come on.
It's
the
like
boat's getting further away. See? Here it is.
They're like, Gary, you lost him. He went over the waterfall.
My God.
It's the equivalent of like a kicker. It's like you have
you
one
had one job. You had one job.
It's the Viking version of a kicker. It's just like, oh, Gary. Oh, now he's out of eyesight.
Gary,
you can.
All right, well, now you're going to have to go around the side and try and get to a position where you can try and
take him out on the peninsula.
So anyway, we started this whole thing off by talking about how you had to climb out the window.
True.
So you were Rapunzel climbing out the window. Mm-hmm. My shoe broke. So I was...
Yeah, you had a whole shoe situation. But we made it. And we went in and it was an award show where we both had categories that we announced. So we gave awards.
You know what we should have done? We should have both just been like, and the winner is
me.
And a piece for Regina George, who got hit by a bus and still looks like a rock star.
If you did the Katie Herring thing and broke that award to throw it into the crowd, it would kill somebody because
it's so heavy.
The streamer awards
it's a murder
are
weapon.
so like. Can you imagine
just smashing it?
Thunk.
I know. Yeah. Or if I was like, hey, I'm going to throw this in the crowd. Whoever catches it gets the award. Can you imagine if I go, hey, everyone, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. So tonight I've decided that I'm just going to throw the award in the crowd, and whoever's not listening, which is most of you here, if you get hit on the head by this thing, you're probably going to die or have very severe brain damage. So you better be listening as I'm up here on stage saying that in 5 seconds, I'm going to toss this award into the crowd.
Or you just
so
say,
I hope you are listening.
Winner says what? And then nobody responds. None of them say it. Yeah, it was Cutie always kills it. The awards were like beautiful. I think the production was better. I went back and I watched 2 years ago because Germa won the Legacy Award like 2 years ago, which is they give it to somebody who's been in the industry for a long time. An OG. And I'm a big Germa fan. And so I watch his acceptance speech every once in a while, and it makes me cry.
That's why you have a shrine in your house. Mm-hmm. I did notice a lot of photos of him, a lock of hair.
Right. It's like the candle situation.
Yeah.
Which is becoming
it's cute.
an issue. Yeah.
It's sweet.
It is cute. So I watch the speech every once in a while because it is like a really good speech. Like he talks about, he says like, keep making awesome things. It's a good one. You should watch it at some point. It always makes me cry. But anyways, I went back and watched that, and then this year I was like, damn, like the production looks really good, like the cameras and everything look really good. The sound, I will say that the sound in this place was really good, where I could hear everybody on stage well. But my one complaint with the awards, which is not a complaint having to do with anything about the awards, was that people just weren't paying attention. They were being fucking rude. Like they were talking amongst themselves. Like when I went up on stage to present my award, I felt like I was talking to like a room of people that were just not paying attention.
Yeah, that's why you got to do something crazy.
I went up and I said, "Hey fuckers."
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Yeah, because the thing is that you have the chat, and really the presentation is for the chat because they're not there in the room.
Yeah.
People in the room are, fucking around.
Yeah.
But you also, because you're on stage, you have this natural instinct to get people's attention, right?
Right.
I should have doused myself in pig's blood.
You should have.
And then lit the entire thing up.
Yeah. I could
use
do that
my
for you.
witch powers to light the entire venue on
The doors
fire.
closed. Yeah, that was like
Kidding.
my only like. Ugh, you can't control that.
To
It's
be
just-
expected.
To be expected. I mean, it's streamers are all main characters at the end of the day.
Streamers are main characters.
Yeah. I had two favorite parts.
Okay.
One of my favorite parts was a personal thing, but my second favorite was when Will decided that he was more hungry than
Always.
the food that was being served, which was delicious. And so I just see Will leaving and saying, "The food's here."
He ordered the food. He ordered the food before dinner even came out. He ordered like $100 worth of Songnam, which is this Korean place. And it comes in like a trough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a lot of food. Like it covered, there was so much food. And also I just want to say that I blinked. I don't know what happened.
And it
I
was
like
gone?
turned away.
Yep.
And I turned back and you had turned into Hasan, who
is a vacuum.
was just
He
like,
is a vacuum cleaner.
and I was like, where did Caroline go? And he was like, I don't know. And just was,
Yeah, I was about to give my speech on stage. So by the time I get back, I walk back to the table. Hasan is sitting in my seat, and I go, "Oh no, make yourself comfortable." And the food has been annihilated.
yeah. Yep.
There was so much food, but there was none left for you, Glenn Coco. Yes, none for me, please, sir.
I just imagine, like in a cartoon when a character floats over to the pie on the windowsill, like that's what I imagine he did over to our table. Just like,
Yeah, well, they had been drinking before the show, and so when my shoes broke, I had to have them go back. They had all of these ideas. What I just said. Go back to the apartment. You guys aren't going to get here anyway. You're going back to Hasan's to drink. I know you're not going to be down here on time.
yeah.
You left the apartment a couple minutes ago. Please, for the love of God, just go back. Just go back. But no, they suggested Gorilla Glue. Will suggested that I go back to the apartment. Then then there was a suggestion of stopping at a Kohl's.
Oh.
Or, ordering
interesting.
some like flats from Target.
Instacarting some flats.
Yeah. Or borrowing people's shoes at the venue. I said, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'll just go and find someone who's got a size 10 and a half.
Can I have
Be
a
like,
try?
can I have your shoes?
Can I have a try?
Hey, do you mind if I try those out?
Those are so cute. Can
Those
I put
are
them on?
so cute. I would love to try those on.
I'm just going to walk over here to see how they feel like on a little
then I
walk.
just
And then you
disappear.
just disappear.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean borrow someone's shoes?
That's basically what Dorothy did in
Dude, Dorothy
Bitch.
lands in the house.
Bitch.
She's flying in the house, lands on the Wicked Witch of the East, steals the shoes.
That's a crazy thing
It's
she does.
crazy. She kills her and
Yeah.
then she steals her shoes.
Like people, like I know Wicked came out and everybody realized that Elphaba was not the villain, but why did anybody ever think that she was when literally a house landed on a family member? That person took her shoes.
and then she's wearing her dead sister's shoes.
yeah, like imagine if I ran over one of your family members with a bus and then I get out and I go,
oh, those are nice.
are those? What's a nice shoe? I don't know. I'm poor. Gucci's?
Gucci slides.
Are those Gucci flip flops?
Now, before anyone's like, Glinda in Wizard of Oz is the one who waves her wand and puts those shoes on Dorothy's feet. She still stole the shoes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dorothy could have said, no, thank you.
Yeah. Dorothy could have stood up on business and been like, that woman just died.
Or Dorothy could have said, ew, this is disgusting. Athlete's foot is an issue.
I'm not comfortable wearing shoes that cost as much as I am an anti-capitalist.
Oh, another thing that I was sad about is apparently Tpain was there, and I didn't get to meet him, and I really wanted to.
Oh, what would you have said?
I would have been like, I really loved the song you did with Zpain.
Oh,
and then he would have been like, I don't know.
Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low, get low, to the windows, to the walls. Till the sweat dropped down my balls. All these bitches crawl.
Did he say bitches or females?
He says bitches. Yeah. Why does that sound like a song? Like we sang that in the way you would sing at church.
To the windows.
To the windows.
To the walls.
Till the sweat dropped down my balls. All these bitches crawl. All skeet skeet motherfuckers. All skeet skeet goddamn. Did you? You didn't go to church. That's right. You had the cross tattoo, but you didn't go to church.
I accidentally went to a church camp once.
What do you mean you accidentally went to church camp?
I got
like you were running through the woods as you did when you were a kid, and you stumbled across a cult,
like Narnia.
Yeah.
No,
what's going on here? They're speaking in tongues.
My friends would come back from summer, and they would talk about this camp that they went to. Where
was it Young Life?
It was not Young Life. Young Life I knew was a church camp, and I weighed my options and decided to not go, but the cool kids went.
The cool, popular, hot kids all went to Young Life.
But this was a different one. And my friends would go, and they would come back, and they would talk about all these like cute boys that they met at summer camp, and they never mentioned it was a church camp. And then I was like, oh, I want to go. And they were like, yeah, you totally should. So my parents like signed me up and stuff. And then as I was getting ready to pack, they sent a list of things that you needed to pack. You know, it's like, because I'm a kid. So they're like, pack shirts, pack whatever. And at the bottom, it says a Bible. And I was like, huh. And I went up to my dad, I think, and I was like, this says Bible. And my dad starts pissing himself laughing because he realizes that this is a church camp. And I didn't grow up going to church, but he had like a Bible or something. So he like walks in the other room and like gets a Bible and like is laughing because he's realized what's happened. And so they sent me off, and we did gospel or whatever in the morning and at night. But other than that, it was fucking awesome.
Were there cute boys?
No.
Oh. But you still had fun.
But I had a great time.
You had a great time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Isn't it so funny how even if families weren't religious, there was always a Bible in the house. Like back in the day, every house, you would just have a Bible.
I think for a lot of our people like our parents' age, they leaning into any kind of atheism or being agnostic was too risky. So I think a lot of people are like not religious, but just practicing enough in their brains that in case they were wrong, maybe they had a shot.
Right.
You know? It's like how I keep my gym membership. Like, I'm not
a gym.
I'm not going, but I still want to have it in case I decide maybe.
Yeah. And so you can be like, I have a gym membership.
Right. I'm worthy. Let me in.
Yeah.
I did have a cool moment at the Streamer Awards that you made happen, which was cool.
I know what this is.
This was nice for me.
Speak on it.
So both of us live stream on Twitch, which we do gaming, but Twitch is primarily a gaming platform.
I love that you said we do gaming.
We do. You dabble.
I do gaming.
You dabble. And but Twitch has always primarily been a gaming platform. As of recent, there's a lot more live streaming content that's not gaming, but it was primarily a gaming platform. And so back in 2017, I learned what Twitch was to watch a streamer named Shroud, and he's really, really good. And so my ex was like, you got to watch this guy. He plays the game that you've been playing a bunch. He live streams it on Twitch. And I was like, okay. So I made a Twitch account to watch Shroud play, FPS games. And then in 2020 during COVID, I was like, oh, like, you know, maybe I'll try streaming. Like, it looks kind of fun. And like, I'm out of work right now because I was cutting hair. So I couldn't do that. And I started streaming, and then it obviously went well because that's my job now. And it has led to like so many different things in my life, like me moving to LA and me like going full time into this. So he was there, and you were like,
he won an award too.
He won the Legacy Award, which is the lifetime, like you did shit for, and you've been doing shit for a while.
You did that shit.
You did that, like one of the Mount Rushmores of gamers. And you were like, is there anybody that you want to say hi to before we go to the after party? And I was like, well, I really want to meet Shroud. And then you were like, oh, I know him. And I was like, okay. So we went over and just kind of like, you went and said hi, and then we were kind of just like standing there, and then you were like, hey, this is my friend Sam, like we do the podcast together. And so I was like, hey, because, you know, before that I had gone up to present an award. And so I basically was like, hey, I started streaming because I used to watch you, and that has led to a domino effect of me being able to go do things like that. And his partner Hannah was standing there, and she was like, she was so sweet. Like I was kind of out of the corner of my eye,
really, really
watching
nice
her
people.
kind of just like take in the moment, because she just went, "Aw," and it was, and
then I turned to Mike Shroud and I said, "And I want to thank you, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have her." But it was like the thing that you would say,
like he was like, "Oh,
like
congrats." He's like, "Is Will here?"
Yeah, he's like, are you not dating Will anymore?
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I said it where I said, and I should thank you as well, because were it not for you, then I would.
Yep,
Sam and I would never have ended up together.
We wouldn't be here. And then she tried to like hold my hand, and I was like, "Please don't." You
gave me a hug though.
I did. I remember when I did it.
That was one of my moments of the night.
I did.
Yeah.
And because you were having a little bit of a night.
I was having a little bit of a night. Yeah.
Which, like, I'm not going to explain that because that was your night.
I was just having a little bit of a night.
Yeah.
And it's not that interesting or anything. But I didn't even mean to do this, but I had emotionally appealed to you.
I think you probably did like a, or like a.
I think I was sitting there, I was just like, it's just not feeling that great.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly leaned over and you came around me.
I did like a over the
and
shoulder.
And you
like,
hugged me. And I went, there you go.
It was like you clicked where you were like, what's happening?
Yeah. And then you were like, I just hugged you. Like, I just gave you a hug. And I go, wouldn't it be funny if I was making this up the entire night? Yeah. All just in service of getting a hug from you.
Yeah.
It was so sweet though, because I know that you are not a physical touch person, which is fine, you know?
Right.
We love you. We love how you are. I knew that was big.
That was big.
Hug.
That was big. You get one. 6 months from now, maybe another one. You get like one a month.
What we need to just at least mention,
we have
because my God, if you are online, even if you're not online,
everybody yeah wants to fuck the shooter,
wants to fuck the guy who probably shot the healthcare CEO.
Yeah.
You know, it is one of those things where the fan cams, we got fan cams, we have fanfic.
It's blowing my mind. Like that's not.
We
should not say that.
Okay. Now wait a minute.
It is.
Now hold on a second.
It is sending me for a loop.
Yep. You have everybody too, from like MAGA to card-carrying communists who are like, free Luigi.
Yeah. The Twitter is one heck of a place today. Let me tell you what.
Twitter is...
And then there's all kinds of fake stuff that's popping up, like people. Actually, can you clarify what we're talking about right now for anybody that is like not online?
So what we're talking about is today a person of interest was arrested. His name is Luigi Mangione.
Mm-hmm.
Is the most Italian name
It is.
that I've ever heard. He sounds like he is a series regular on The Sopranos.
Yep.
And he has degrees in comp sci, worked as a software engineer, and he was caught because somebody reported him looking like the photos that the FBI had released.
Right.
Of the person of interest. We don't have to spend too long on this, but like just talking about how the internet is thirsting for Luigi and his washboard abs and his Cara Delevingne eyebrows.
His eyebrows are great.
I know, but you know what? I think the eyebrows is how he got caught.
Scootis just sighed. I just watched him swoon.
So
I just watched him swoon live.
He's so hot.
There's so many like sketches and TikToks and memes and thirst traps and fan cams.
So it was like this morning he was at like 30,000 followers or something, and I checked like a couple hours ago he was at 200,000. His header is so funny too. It is. What's that Pokemon's name?
This is a Pokemon named Breloom.
Breloom.
Fun little side story. Apparently, he played in the Pokemon Worlds Championship in Hawaii this year.
This guy did?
Luigi did.
Okay.
That allegedly.
Okay.
Why do we feel like we have like 2 degrees of separation? This guy. I feel like it's gonna come out
we
and
know must have a
somebody we
mutual.
know knows
Yes.
him or
If you know the Twitter Washington Post guy, Gene Park, who does gaming,
Yeah.
he has friends that know him
Okay.
because they were at Pokemon Worlds with him.
And then the second one is a picture of his back injury. Like that's
Which
his
is
spine.
kind of, I guess, pretty integral with his whole motive.
Sure.
If
yeah.
it's him that did it.
But I like that there's the Pokemon and then there's the motive for murder and then a thirst trap.
He put like a mood board on his Twitter. It's like a Pinterest.
What I will say is ultimately, I think the takeaway is how the internet, no matter your political affiliation, ideology, reacted and has been reacting to this fucking story.
Right.
Where when the news came out that the CEO of the largest healthcare company in this country that is notorious for denying claims. I mean, all healthcare companies do, but this one in particular is just like deny, using AI programs that have a 90% error rate that were used to deny elderly patients their care. Like you don't get much more evil than that.
Right.
When it came out that he had been gunned down at 7 a.m. in Manhattan, the response online was overwhelmingly
people were like, free him. They were like
they were immediately thirsting over the shooter before this information came out.
Yeah.
Because then the one photo of him with his mask down and smiling, like, you know, risen up apparently some girl who thought he was cute.
Yeah.
That dropped and everyone was everyone's dropping their panties. They were losing their shit. And then today I woke up and my internet is just flooded with this man's washboard abs.
Yes. Which are impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's
shredded.
He's shredded. Yep. But it's crazy. Like the whole thing is wild.
Yeah.
And obviously there are people who should be paying attention to the response.
It is
that
like
has been had over
anytime anything like this
shooter.
happens, just watching the way that the internet reacts is almost like a science experiment.
Our healthcare system is so horrific, and these companies are such scammy, for-profit, miserly,
terrible
fucks. And we've seen the response to what happens when one of these CEOs gets taken out, like it's John Wick.
Right. It's like the fact that it's like murdering somebody in cold blood is like a horrific thing. Like we need to obviously make sure that there is like some repercussions for somebody that just murders somebody in cold blood, whatever. But am I surprised that there are people out there that are willing to throw away their whole lives to remove somebody that is running companies as predatory as healthcare companies, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised that this happened.
Yeah, and it's also I have much more like I'm losing sleep. I'm upset about the 70,000 Americans who die every year because they don't have health insurance,
Right.
okay? Of the millions of Americans who had their claims denied from
Right.
just UHC alone. Like the system working as the system is meant to work, which means profit over people, which means these healthcare companies rake in billions in profit because people are sick and dying and dead,
Yeah.
right? So that is to me what the major tragedy and problem is here.
Yeah.
And I think the reaction has been not surprising,
Yeah. I'm not
but
surprised.
extremely illuminating that there is such a disconnect between the ruling class and their allies, and then everybody else.
Yeah, and
who
just
is
how-
suffering under these, suffering under these systems who
Yeah.
have amassed $220 billion in medical debt.
Right. But in other big news, the Swifties
The Swifties.
they're out of content. Well, they're not out of content, but the Era Tour.
Speaking of things that have died,
the Era Tour is
It's
no
Jover.
longer. It's Jover.
$2 billion later, it is Jover. Swift's tour sold a total of 2 billion and some change in tickets. That's just tickets.
2 years, 5 continents, 50 cities, and 149 shows.
140. I wish it was 150.
You know,
149 is just
like she could have popped one
can
out.
we do one more?
She's been. Can you imagine? Like, I remember this was like a month ago. Actually, I remember talking to somebody and being like, "Damn, Taylor Swift has been on a tour for a long time."
Forever.
And somebody was like, "Yeah, it's been like 2 years," and I was like,
Yep.
"Shit."
But she has really cemented her place in history. I mean, she is a cultural dynamite, and because of the success of Eras, she is now up there with like the cultural significance of the Beatles and Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do you know who had set the industry record in ticket sales that then Taylor Swift doubled?
And it wasn't one of the two you just mentioned.
Mm-mm.
Let me guess. It's a group.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. Dakota Johnson. There's
Ellen
a hint.
DeGeneres. Is
No.
Ellen DeGeneres on tour?
Ellen DeGeneres is on tour talking about how she got canceled.
Whenever I think
And
of
she sold
Dakota
$1
Johnson, I
billion
think of
in
Ellen
tickets.
DeGeneres. No,
Actually,
who is
that's
it?
not true. Coldplay.
What?
Coldplay.
I didn't even know they were still doing stuff.
Coldplay's 156 date Music of the Spheres World Tour set the industry record with $1 billion in ticket sales. And then
What?
Swift went, I'm going to double that. I think I last listened to Coldplay when I was rocking a mini green iPod in 7th grade.
I had a pencil skirt last time I listened to Coldplay, probably. And maybe Galaxy leggings.
Like, I think I had braces, like a Livestrong bracelet. Yeah.
Boobies.
Yep.
The boobies bracelet.
Mhm.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you know what's so funny about Taylor Swift is, unless I'm totally out of touch, Taylor Swift has been around for like quite a while now. She's been a very famous
Yeah.
pop star. And I feel like she was a very famous pop star on the same level as other very famous pop stars. And then the last like 3 years,
It has been this tour.
it's been like,
This tour is what has now resulted in her being the dominator
Yeah.
of music and pop culture, and
yeah, if you're
she just
old
did it.
in about 50 years from now and you say, I went to the Eras tour, I feel like that will mean something. I feel like that will
Yeah,
be.
I mean, this tour boosted local economies around
Yeah.
the world.
They shut down the highway to transport her as if she was
Yeah.
the president down the highway.
She's bigger than the president.
She's bigger than the president. Maybe taller.
Definitely
Definitely taller.
Yeah. Every single date on this tour was sold out.
Yeah.
This is where like the
Not
ticket
just
remember
sold out,
remember
but,
the
like,
Ticketmaster where the Swifties
people
decided
would
to
cry.
mobilize around taking down Ticketmaster?
Yep.
Yeah, that is how long this tour has been going on. A total of 10,168,008 people attended the concerts, which means that on average each seat went for about $204.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I was hearing the prices of like the cheaper ones, and it was still pretty.
My sister's boyfriend bought tickets. I think they were like $700 or $800, and he resold them for $8,000. That is
That's
crazy.
Wild. We should do that next time she has a
Insane.
tour.
Yeah, why aren't we doing that?
Why didn't we do that? We're stupid.
Bro, we could be
we live in
billionaires.
LA. We could be scalpers.
We really could.
If we suddenly come into amounts of money that are apparent to our friends and family, just know.
Just know
we've become
friends and family
scalpers.
that we have started reselling Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
Do you know where the biggest concert attendance was? Which country are you
Which
always
country?
talking about? Which continent are
Australia?
you always talking about? Australia.
Yeah. They love I know that.
Melbourne, Australia.
I know because like all of the people that Brody knows in Australia like went.
Everybody, if you live in Melbourne, Australia, you went because
Australia never gets anybody though.
Oh,
Like
it was
literally
huge for them.
Like it is.
It
like
was huge.
Like Brody has said this, and like the other people I know that live in Australia have said this. Like when somebody comes to Australia, like it's big because Australia just gets like skipped a lot for whatever reason. And when they do go, they go like Melbourne, Sydney. That's it.
They need something.
They need someone. Chappell, get down there.
Chapel's like
No,
probably
she's
not gonna
done.
even do a single tour.
She's gonna quit. There was a
Insanity.
thread that I saw earlier on Twitter breaking down why somebody doesn't
Pull it
think
up.
that Chappell is a real lesbian.
I know. I definitely bookmarked this.
Which is unreal because we can look at the whole thread. The thought that if you are gay that you have to have always been like out and dating.
yes, if you're lesbian, then you from when you were a baby better have been out and about showing that you were a little lesbian baby.
Yeah, it's like you never at any point if you've ever dated a man and you're lesbian, not real. Sorry,
Not real.
Hate to break it to
Oopsie.
you big
Yeah,
faker.
they pulled up photos of her going to prom.
Yeah.
Exposing Chappell Roan of queerbaiting and being a fake lesbian. A necessary thread. Yeah, that is really, you know what? Put that in the Library of Congress. That is how necessary this thread is, exposing Chappell.
Yeah, everybody stop.
First, let's take a look at Chappell Roan's dating history. While she has always been private about her relationships, her music reveals that she has dated men at various points in her life. Wow, Sherlock Holmes. Great detective work here.
Yeah, it's like Chappell grew up like I think in like a pretty
She grew up in
religious.
Missouri, man.
Yeah.
She has talked about the fact that she was scared to be out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went to high school in Iowa. I had a lot of friends who were closeted.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in college, I went to college in Missouri. I went to a liberal arts school. And there were, I'm not kidding you, 4 girls in my sorority who have since graduation come out as gay.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
one of them is my best friend who's married to a woman now.
Also, like, not just to think this in your brain, but to take the time to make a thread with 10 plus tweets diving in and showing pictures of Chappell as a kid is insane.
Like, just make the fan cams on the shooter, okay?
Like,
All right.
it's like, I don't care. Like, you can think this in your brain, which is weird, but to take time out of your day to do this is just no wonder Chappell like hates her fans.
But
basically.
yes, but also I saw a tweet that was like, Chappell needs Charlie XCX's like gay fan base, but instead she has like the obnoxious stans who make her life hell.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately a lot of people have latched onto her kind of clapping back at fans and pushed in further because of that. Like they've seen that Chappell is open and vocal about telling people to fuck off, and so they've kind of like squared up a little bit and become more annoying.
Also, I just have to say this one tweet where they go, now let's get to the spicy part. I have contacted some of Chappell Roan's friends from high school.
Crazy.
No, you haven't. You haven't talked to any of her friends, okay? You probably found some random person like, yeah, I went to high school with Chappell. Chappell. She was sucking dick.
It was like somebody's friend who went to high school with her for 1 year, but then they transferred.
I have even contacted some of her neighbors from Missouri, and they like this is an unwell person. Hi, I'm a random person online who's looking to make a tweet thread that will have approximately 200 likes, and I was wondering, can you confirm my absolute waste of time endeavor here to prove that Chappell Roan is a fake lesbian?
Yeah. There's a couple things. I went to this person's profile. Their about says #1 Miley Cyrus fan. Their pinned tweet is Cynthia Erivo's full name, in which they said, just read Cynthia's full name out loud and my bed started floating, which feels just racist.
So racist. Oh, I remember that tweet actually.
And then they have multiple threads that says, this one says straight female artists who never dated a woman yet still pretend to be bisexual just to exploit the LGBTQ plus community, which it's Chappell, Sabrina, Billy, Miley,
Tate
McRae, and Ice Spice. And Chappell has a girlfriend right now, I think, from what people are saying. Miley has dated women, I think, pretty publicly. Sabrina Carpenter never queerbaits. She's just a very sexual person. She's very sex positive.
She does some very embarrassing things online.
Yeah. Like Billie Eilish has openly said she doesn't want to talk about her sexuality.
It's also like, what are we fucking doing here? Okay, pretend to be bisexual to exploit the LGBTQ plus community. What exploiting?
Right.
What exploiting? It's also, bisexual visibility is not this thing where we should be investigating.
Right. It's like these celebrities are in front of audiences for the entirety of their life. So if they're in a situation where they want to kind of like explore, then it's like, oh no, you have to be out or else you're queer baiting. It's like, it's like,
Stop
it's like, you know what? Maybe they're just like kind of like feeling out the waters.
Yeah.
To kind of see, like maybe like, you know, maybe they're like, you know what? I think I might like girls.
Like,
it's like, no. You have to decide from the moment you come out of the womb.
Right. So we went from someone being, you know, someone feeling like they had to be straight because being queer was bad, to now, you know what? This is progress. Okay.
Right.
To now you're not queer enough that you're actually fake queer.
Right.
Yeah. Progress.
Yeah.
2024. Their last tweet is, also follow me. I will be exposing Sabrina Carpenter soon. So speaking of Sabrina Carpenter,
can't wait. Oh yeah,
fill me in.
Oh, let me tell you what.
Fill me in.
Lock in, because this is short and sweet. Speaking of Sabrina Carpenter, that's the name of her album. That was a joke.
No, I
did. You picked that up.
I did.
Cool.
Did I not react hard enough?
I
should.
I just wanted to
more.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So rumors that Sabrina Carpenter and Barry Keoghan last week split up. And the rumors is that they split up to focus on their careers individually, blah, blah, blah. And then shortly after, there was one of your favorite things, a
blind item.
A blind item that came out that said that Barry cheated on Sabrina with a semi-famous TikTok influencer. And so people are like, okay, that could be literally anybody. Shortly after...
I'm sorry.
Brecky Hill, who I actually don't know what she does at all.
Brecky Hill, that's like, you don't even have to know they do TikTok to know they do
TikTok. It's Brecky with the good hair. Was reposting videos because people were thinking that it was her, and she started doing the retweet version on TikTok, right? So you can like repost videos. So she was reposting these videos and people were going, oh my gosh, Becky Hill is reposting these videos. It must be her. And then it got to the point where people were aggressively hating on Barry for the breakup because the Sabrina stans are, you know, a stand-em is a stand-em. It's going to do what it's going to do, which is unfortunately usually pretty toxic. So he deactivated his Instagram and then he posted something on Twitter. He posted a statement just saying like, hey guys, you're ruining my life. Like, stop. And Becky Hill also posted something, said that she was lying in a hospital bed following a ski accident and have never been through...
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, Becky Hill says, I've never been through a worse time in my life while having a broken back, and people are telling me the worst things imagine. And she said, stop spreading rumors so quickly and tearing other people down. Take everything you see on the internet with a grain of salt and just be kind. Which is insane because she was retweeting the videos alleging that it was her to bait.
I'm not saying that stans, there are any excuse for them, you know, doing the shit that they do. But as far as people being upset at you, you walked into that lion's den on purpose.
Yeah, you saw the bait and you fed into it.
Yeah.
For notoriety. Yeah. And then the stand-em, like you said, is toxic and terrible and always goes too far. Yes. But it's like if you wanted to stay out of it, like you made your bed and it was a hospital bed and then you laid in it and you kept retweeting. So
Barry Keoghan, he is off the socials. And so there's just a lot of parasocial aspects to this whole story. And there were people who were demanding an apology from him, but these were like on random people online who said, well, you need to apologize. Nowhere in that statement is apology. And I'm just like,
it's crazy because Sabrina's never obviously said what happened. Neither one of them have said what happened.
But also it's like, okay, girl online.
Yeah.
You need an apology.
Jessica from New Hampshire is
Who
like,
are you?
I feel like I need him to personally apologize to me.
You're not involved in this.
But she is. You don't understand. She's been there since the beginning. So he posted a statement on Twitter that says, I can only sit and take so much. My name has been dragged across the internet in ways I usually don't respond to. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but
I'm sorry, but the TOO is killing me.
Yeah. So that is funny that you say that because Sabrina has a song called Slim Pickens, very good song, kind of a country song. And in that song, she says, Jesus, what's a girl to do? This boy doesn't even know the difference between there, and they are, yet he's naked in my room. And in the first line of his statement, he uses the wrong to.
He uses the wrong to.
So if we didn't know who the song was about, we can speculate a little bit harder.
You know what? He's Irish. They've been through a lot.
He's got that Irish dick.
They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
This is just these things get so nasty, and the internet believes that they are part of people's lives who they are not a part of at all. Mm-hmm. And people start getting real weird.
Yeah, it's like if you like, I think it's normal to be curious about a situation that happens to your favorite pop star, but the moment that you act like they owe you anything, it's like you like Sabrina Carpenter's music, you like Barry Keoghan when he helicoptered his dick in Saltburn, you don't
and he drank Jacob Elordi's cum.
Right, like you're allowed to be a fan of that, but for you to like personally feel like you're owed any kind of investment in their relationship when they don't consent to that is crazy. And it's just like a stand-em being a stand-em, doing what it does, which is terrible. I think that this would be a beautiful time to move on to our Let Me Know segment.
I think you're right. My favorite segment.
My favorite segment too. I love it. Can I tell you mine? Because I like this one. It's fun.
Yeah.
Why are you saying yeah?
Because I feel like it's the one that I picked.
Okay. Does it have to do with Wizard of Oz?
Fuck, dude!
Yep.
The ruby red slippers that sold for $23 $26 million.
Yeah. Nope. 32.5 million.
32.5. Just because we've been so wicked brained, even though we
Can't
haven't
get away
seen
from
it,
it.
we're gonna go see it next
This
week.
is probably why we both got it, because our computers are like, bitch.
It was a story that when I saw it and I'm like, oh, this would be a good let me know. I just knew.
I almost texted you to see what yours was, and I was like,
that you were going to
she'll
pick
find
this
something
one.
different.
So, because I thought that, I have a backup one.
Okay, perfect.
That's kind of related.
Well, let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me let you know what you already know.
What I already know.
But they don't already know. So, Dorothy's ruby slippers that were worn by Judy Garland sold Saturday for $32.5 million. Now, these ruby slippers are, I believe, one of 4 that exist, because obviously they didn't make Judy Garland wear the same shoes every single day. But these ones are special because they were stolen at one point.
Yes.
From a museum. They were stolen in 2005 by Terry John Martin, who is or was 77 years old. I'm not sure if he was 77 when he stole them. I think he was, because
Honestly, slay Terry.
he had them. I don't know if he had them, but the museum didn't have them. For 13 years, they were finally returned in 2018.
He just needed to borrow them.
He just needed to borrow them. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
actually, he stole them. He used a hammer and he smashed the glass and he stole them. And then apparently when he found out that the ruby slippers weren't in fact made out of rubies, they were glass, he tossed them somewhere. He got rid of them.
That's like from holes.
Yeah, he just
Gross
was like,
shoes.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where they were. Apparently his lawyer did not say where they ended up. But they were returned back to whoever, and then they were put up for
What
bid.
size are they? Would they fit these?
I feel like they're tiny. I don't know. I feel like Judy Garland
could
had
I
a tiny little
squeeze?
foot.
Could I squeeze my foot?
I think you could. I think you could
a
crunch
size
it in
10
there.
and a half.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
You can cut the toes out.
Yeah.
Make them a little strappy sandal. Red ruby strappy
Do you
sandal.
think it's too late to bind my foot?
You can do whatever your heart desires.
I should tell people, like, yeah, I
You should start
I had
telling
my
people that.
feet bound.
This part kind of makes me sad a little bit. Amongst the bidders was the Judy Garland Museum, which didn't win.
Oh.
And apparently they were taking donations to try to get up to whatever, because it was set when they put them on the website. Apparently it was set to like 2 million. They were like, oh, they'll sell for 2 million.
Yeah.
And they sold for 32 million.
That's because Kim K probably fucking bought them.
That's what I'm saying, is like,
She's out
where
here
are they
buying
going?
all of this vintage
Yeah.
memorabilia that she should not
Didn't
have.
she wear a Marilyn Monroe dress?
She
to
wore
something?
the Marilyn Monroe dress. She had this Princess Diana jewelry.
Yeah.
She is out here buying these historical
That
artifacts.
shit makes me mad.
So I'm sure, we'll see in the next Skims ad.
Yeah, apparently the
Please.
guy who stole them, he pled guilty in 2023. And they literally rolled him into the courtroom. He had like an oxygen tank because he was 77, I think, when he stole
God.
them.
Martin
so he was
is
like,
now 77.
okay, got it. So he stole them when he was 64.
When he was a young man.
He was a young man.
of 64.
64.
Yeah, who's also calling himself a young man is Jay-Z, but we're not going to get into that because I'm going to tell you about my Let Me Know.
Okay.
The thing that I have to let you know about, which fits in perfectly with yours.
Okay.
And that is that the also for sale, much cheaper, not $32 million, $20,000. For $20,000, you can have a Nosferatu sarcophagus bed.
Wow.
They have made replicas of the... It's in Robert Eggers' upcoming film Nosferatu.
I want to see that.
It's going to be so fucking good, man.
I want to see that.
And it is 250 pounds, over 8 feet long. It's a sarcophagus that you can sleep in.
We should replace this couch with it.
Oh my God.
Guys,
Guys,
we need you to subscribe to the Patreon.
Please subscribe
need
to the
this.
Patreon.
We don't need
Please.
cameras.
Because can you imagine us sitting in that thing?
You know what I've realized? There's a lot of rich people out there that, like, I look at this and I go, who the fuck has $20,000
to buy
that they would
this?
spend on that? But I realize if I had fuck you money, I would probably buy stuff like this too. I would buy stupid.
I would buy
stuff.
2 of these. I would have one for Will. Actually, I'd buy 3. Boom, boom, boom. Will, me, Farley.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Why don't I get one as a guest bed? So 4.
I want all 3 of us to. Okay. Well,
All right.
speaking of
All right.
putting things to bed, thank you guys so much for watching the 6th episode of the Let Me Know podcast.
Lucky number 6.
A quick couple things. So we are going to now move on to the Patreon segment where we are going to be doing 2 things. We added another segment. The first thing is we're going to be discussing the movie Anora that we watched, which was incredible.
So good.
And we are going to be diving into that and talking about it. So if that is a movie that you want to watch, or if you have watched, come listen to us talk about it, because it is a phenomenal movie. And also we are taking questions from you guys for the I Gotta Know segment, which is basically an AMA. So you guys can ask us for advice. You can ask us for questions about ourselves, whatever you want. And we will do our very best to answer every single one of them, unless they get to the point where there's far, far too many. But as of right now, we're answering every single one of them. What are the questions that we have for today? Or maybe like 1 or 2 of them.
We have fabulous questions, such as, Sam, as a fellow divorcee, how did you get back to a place where you were ready to be vulnerable again?
Ooh, spicy. All of them are good, to be honest with you. There wasn't any duds. So we'll be answering those questions. And if you're interested in asking us questions for next week's Patreon, then head on over to the Patreon, and I will have the sheet available for you to fill out. Also, if you're interested, we are currently borrowing like half of the gear that we use to record the episode every week. And so we just have a gift list I'm going to put in the description. It's a Throne account. So if you're interested to contribute $1 or $10 or whatever, to help us get gear so that we can kind of have more of a permanent setup that Scootish doesn't have to set up and break down every episode, we would appreciate
Make
that.
Scootish's life easier.
But for everybody else, thank you for watching and subscribing and doing all of the free things that help us so much. They
we
really
appreciate
do.
you.
We appreciate you.
We continue to appreciate you.
We do. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Move. Body.